Good evening, everybody. This is Dylan with Crown Royal Stoves and Unleashed Outdoors. I'm a dealer for Crown Royal Stoves in Southeast Michigan. This is my 7300E. Upon the request of quite a few YouTube viewers, we're going to make another video, because there are other ones floating around that we've done and several other dealers for other brands, on how to start a fire, an initial fire in a gasification boiler. Now, like I just said, this is my 7300E. I actually shut down to do a bunch of plumbing today. As you can see, the water temperature is 54 degrees. The boiler is actually filling back up today. I had to drain my system, do some work inside, so we're going to start back up. And I figured I would go through a cold start. Okay? I have just some ash at the bottom. Other than that, it's completely dry. This is all very small kindling. Okay, when I say small, guys, I want you to look at how big this stuff is. And this is very dry wood. This is the stuff that you need to work with at first. That is 1 inch by maybe 2 inches. This stuff is very, very dry. Very, very dry, as you can tell by hitting the wood together. It's got a very high-pitched sound. It sounds like 2 baseball bats hitting together. Even that piece of oak, man, that's 1 inch by 2 inches. So very important to have small split dry wood. I took slab wood and split it down even smaller. This is all 20 to 24 inch wood. I mean, look at this stuff, guys. I can't stress this enough. This stuff is paper thin. The reason you want your wood so small initially is you have to establish a coal bed in the boiler. So many people struggle with this when they get these boilers. It goes out in them. You know, if it's not calling for heat once an hour, it goes out. Guys, I've had my boiler idles on warm days for 4 to 8 hours in between cycles and always relights. If you have a good thick coal bed of anywhere from 2 inches to 4 inches, you know, you should never have an issue relighting. If you see these curtains, see the bottom of these curtains? You have about 4 inches from there, from the bottom of that curtain down to the bottom of the firebox. 4 to 5 inches. You can run your coal bed all the way up just underneath of these curtains. So that's 3 to 4 inches of hot, thick coals you should always be running. You don't want to run your coal bed past these curtains too far, because what happens is these panels, even though they're 10 gauge stainless steel, will warp over time. Now, it's not going to destroy the functionality, because all these things do is allow air to move around the firebox through the hole in the back. Air flows around and evenly disperses. So if they do warp a little bit, it's not a big deal. But if you want to keep them in good shape, keep your ash and coal line below the bottom of these curtains, okay? Now, as you can see, I covered the nozzle slot with a couple small pieces, and I have loaded the firebox up with very small splits, and I layer cardboard in there, okay? I have another layer of cardboard. Now I'm going to load the rest of this kindling into the firebox, and I'm simply going to light a match. Okay, guys, now my wood load is loaded, okay? So I just loaded the rest of the wood that you saw here laying on the ground, and I want you to see how far above the door frame I am loaded. These are the biggest splits I put in, and I put them on top, and those are only probably 1.5 inches by 4 inches. 1.5 inches by 4 inches. Other than that, you can see how thin this wood is. Now, typically, you don't have to load this kind of wood all the time if your wood is nice and dry and seasoned like this. I am splitting this smaller because I need to establish a good thick coal bed. Smaller pieces of wood break down to coal faster than big honking fat, you know, 6 inch by 12 inch pieces of wood. Okay, now this is very, very important. I want every viewer to take a good look at how this is loaded. Okay, a good cheat trick is to put a bag of charcoal underneath of this on the bottom and then load your wood on top. That works very well if you have a little higher moisture content wood, but really there's no need for it if you have good dry wood. Some cardboard, I'm going to crumple that box up on top of this, layered with the other cardboard you saw down in there, works perfectly fine. So I want everyone to take a good look at this, okay? And we're going to fire it up here shortly. All right, everybody, the boiler is now filled. We just started the fan. We clicked the switch from off to fan. You can see all the wetness on the outside of the boiler. It ran over the fill cap. My fill stem is sitting right over here. I'm going to keep mine off because I filled the boiler all the way up, and as it heats, water is going to expand and come out. The water starting temperature is at 59 degrees. We need to go all the way to the set point of 185 degrees. As you can see, we're fully ready to load now, or to fire. I just put another load of cardboard on top of the wood pile that you guys just saw. Now I am simply just going to take my propane torch here, and that's all you need. Light the cardboard. Remember that this fire burns upside down. So the fan is pulling the smoke and the gases down to the bottom of the fire through the nozzle slot. So the fire is going to burn down. So you put your cardboard mostly on the top of the fire because it's going to burn down through the wood pile. You guys have any of those weed torches, the weed burning torches? Those work great too. Otherwise, just this is my soldering torch that I use a lot for installing outdoor wood boilers. That's what I was working on today in the basement, actually. All right, that's gonna be good, ladies and gentlemen. So now I'm gonna close this door up. I'm gonna come back and check on it about every 15 minutes. It'll probably take about an hour to get fully up to temperature. And that's all there is to it. I am going to go through a couple more processes as the wood burns down, and you're going to see the small wood load produce a very good coal bed even on this first firing. Okay? And for the next 2 days, I'm probably going to load most of my splits as small as what you guys just saw me put in here. The reason being is I need to establish a very good coal bed to then go back to normal burning. I also want to note real quick, see how clean that door frame is right there? Take the 2 minutes a day, get yourself a putty knife or a scraper, and take 2 minutes when you load to keep your door frame clean. Just give it a few scrapes. Be nice to it. Take care of your equipment. This is a piece of equipment. It's just like a tractor. Should be taken care of. I take the 2 minutes a day to scrape my door frame off. It keeps it very clean and very dry. You don't want to let the creosote build up around your door frame. I see people post pictures of their boilers all the time, just goo running out of their door. Take the 2 minutes a day, get yourself a putty knife. Anyways, that's my little soapbox. We're gonna let this sucker heat up. We're gonna check back in soon. Okay everyone, we are only about 3 to 4 minutes into lighting the cardboard. As you can see the cardboard still laying on top of the ashes, but look at the gasification effect. Look at the hot coal bed already ignited. You don't need charcoal if you're using good dry wood in small pieces. Now if you have higher moisture content wood, putting a layer of charcoal down first is a good idea. But as you can see, if you do things properly, you don't need it. And we're off to the races in gassing effectively and efficiently. Now we're gonna let this wood load burn down a little bit. The boiler's only at 62 degrees, so we went up 3 degrees here in just a few minutes. We're gonna let this burn down and we'll check back in a little bit. Okay everybody, it's been about 20-25 minutes since the last check. Boiler's now at 103 degrees. We're steaming over some water, or I shouldn't say steaming, expanding over some water. So let's see what's going on in here. Real quick, as you can see, I took my splitting maul, my Fiskars, split down a bunch more stuff. That's oak. That's 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. That's nice and dry. It's about 15%. You can see another piece right there. That's how small I'm splitting this stuff, guys. Look at that. Now we're gonna smack that down. Look at the coal bed we're already starting over there. Breaking down the coals very fast. So I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna knock it down with my poker, just gently. I'm just gonna knock it down flat, and I'm gonna load more on top. Okay, I just got done knocking the fire down. I just took my tool and smacked it down. See those coals, see those hot piles of coals that are already starting to build up? That's because my small little pieces of wood are breaking down very, very fast. All right. All right, loaded the wood that was sitting here. Back on top, tapped everything down. This should bring us to set point, and then we're gonna rake it one more time down and load one more pile of wood on top. Very simple process, okay folks? Okay, boiler is now at 148 degrees. We're about 45 minutes into the cycle. Things are going great. Let's check out what's going on inside. Beautiful. That is a hot fire, ladies and gentlemen. Now again, look how easy that was. Cardboard and dry wood, that's it. And I'm establishing a great coal bed, as you can see down in there. That wood is breaking down very, very nice. So I'm going to smash this down one last time. I'm gonna stack the rest of this very small dry wood on top of it, okay? This is all very nice dry oak and maple, silver maple. And this is going to be my last layer after this gets tapped down. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is my last load of wood. The boiler will make it up to temperature fine, and I will have enough wood for tonight. It's going to be very warm, and I guarantee you, tomorrow morning I'm gonna have a great coal bed to start with. I want everyone to take one last look at the size of those splits. Now that is very dry 2-year seasoned wood. If you have wet wood, you need to split it even smaller, okay? This, again, is just the process of establishing a good coal bed, which is absolutely necessary to run any gasser to optimal efficiency, so you're not chasing your tail all the time, okay? So please, take a hard look at what we've done today. Look at that, okay? That's from cardboard and good wood. It's not that hard. I've owned every boiler known to man. I've owned a Central Boiler Classic. I've owned a Ridgewood. I've owned a Timberwolf. I've owned a Shaver. I owned a Heatmore. I owned a Heatmaster. I've ran them all in my day. And I can tell you with all honesty, the gasification models these days that Crown Royal and Heatmaster and others are making are some of the easiest, most efficient boilers to run. Now, some of you maybe watch this video going, oh, well, I don't want to split my wood that small. And God, that seems like such a hassle. He just made a 15-minute video on just starting it. It's easy. I could have done all of this in 5 minutes. My daily loading routine consists of coming out here, knocking the wood down flat, taking pieces of wood and throwing it on top once I get a coal bed established. And it doesn't take a lot of work. All of this in real time, ladies and gentlemen, took me 5 minutes. If I wouldn't have been doing this video, I would have loaded everything up even a little bit fuller, and it would have been probably a 5-minute process. Again, it's simple. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'd be more than willing to help. And I am going to show an update on this video, what it looks like tomorrow morning. All right, good morning, everyone. This is the same video. It is now about 6 a.m. in the morning the next day. The boiler's at 164. It's off. It's at idle. It's not going to turn on again until 160. So we're getting close to the bottom edge of a cycle. I just got done preparing my small, tiny little pieces of wood. Again, I want to show you guys what I'm burning. This is small, dry pieces of wood. I cannot stress this stuff enough. Look how small I have this stuff split. Some of this oak board wood I split down very small because I'm still, what's the key word, guys? I'm still trying to build a good quality coal bed. So that's going to be my load for today. It's a very warm day. It's going to be almost 50 degrees. A lot of people struggle when it gets warm. I don't. This boiler went 4 hours in between firing last night. Never went out on me. And according to my data logger here, when it did fire again, it got up to temperature within a half hour. Firing very fast and burning very hot. So I know once I open that door, guys, and I haven't opened it yet since last night, that I'm going to have fire and smoke still in there. And we're going to load these smaller pieces on. And after another load like this tonight, we should have a good coal bed established. Matter of fact, we probably already do right now. But for the sake of the video and the homeowners out there that I see struggle with this, please follow these instructions. Okay? we're going to hit our load switch on the side of the boiler. That starts the fan, which is going to start exhausting smoke. Now I always come over and I stand on the back side of my door. I crack my door. That's going to exhaust all the smoke out. I had a lot of people say, oh, these things smoke a lot out of the door. I don't see any smoke. Now typically what I do is I will do that procedure first, then I will come over and start gathering my wood. That way, once I'm done splitting it up or getting it over or picking out what pieces I'm going to throw in, then by the time I'm done with that and I open the door, the smoke will all be exhausted. Let's take a peek. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. So that's still what I have left from last night, guys. So you saw what I put in. So we went down a couple inches. Now I'm going to grab my tool. This is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to smack this down. See how I'm just tapping it? Very lightly. Very little moisture around the door frame. That's what happens when you burn good dry wood, okay? Give it a little scrape. See, now I want to show you guys, you see all that back there already? See all those nice hot coals? See that nice hot coal bed back there already starting? We're well on our way. We are well on our way to establishing a good coal bed. And that's still lit, guys. I'm going to hit my fan switch again. That's going to start up for us, no problem. That's going to start up for us, no problem. So again, let me grab my flashlight here, if it works. See all those nice coals, guys? Already, after one night. All the way up to the bottom of the curtains. Matter of fact, that's almost a little too high already. Same thing on that side. You can see underneath of that wood, there's good coal. Now I'm going to load the rest of this small stuff on top of that. And as you can see, guys, see the fire in the back? Now this stove has been idling since 1 o'clock in the morning. That's 5 hours and it's relighting. Good dry wood in establishing a coal bed will do it for you.